Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Theology Thursday. Before I get into the text for today, I wanted to just reiterate that for us to keep doing some Theology Thursdays, I would love for you to suggest some texts or some verses that are either meaningful to you or perhaps some things that you would like to hear a little more reflection about. But I know we do need you to go ahead and respond with a few of those texts if you would be willing to do that. Today, I chose a text. We're actually going to take a look at a few verses from the Gospel of John. It's chapter 4, verses 21 through 24. This actually picks up with part of the woman at the well, Jesus and the woman of Samaria at the well. Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You worship what you do not know. We worship what we know, for salvation is from the Jews. But the hour is coming and is now here, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for the Father seeks such as these to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth." I chose these words because I know right now for us worship is a little split. We have, maybe 40% of our folks who are back in person, and another 60% who are still joining us online. And I want to just reiterate that both of those things are okay. When we're back in person, we are being as safe as we can, and I know that changes the tone of the service. It always feels a little bit more somber, simply because I think the big thing is we're not singing together. But what I want us to remember is that when we gather for worship isn't about us. And it doesn't matter where we worship. But that's even what our gospel reading says, where it talks about people thinking whether they need to worship in Jerusalem at the temple or someplace else entirely. Growing up, for me, I'll be honest with you, worship was going to church and sitting in the sanctuary with my family on Sunday mornings. And many or most of us grew up that way, and still feel like worship is worship only when we can be together in the church, singing and doing all of those things that we usually do during worship. So I would continue to ask for your patience. I give thanks for your patience thus far. But just know that worship isn't about us. And we can do our best in worship. We can give God our thanks and our praise for the gifts that we have, many as they may be, even if we can't worship exactly the way we want to right now. So just remember that as you either tune in on Sunday mornings, or you watch it later in the day, or maybe as you are here in person, that when we gather together for worship, it is to give our thanks, our praise, and our worship to the God who created, redeemed, and sustained us, even in trying and difficult times. So be patient. Continue joining us for worship in whatever way you are most comfortable at this point in time. And we look forward to the day when we can all be back together and singing God's praises in person. Take care, everybody. Be safe.